Hello, my name is Ed Frawley, and my wife and I own Leerburg. On the front page of our website, there's an Ask Cindy portal. Cindy's my wife. She's been a professional dog trainer for, probably shouldn't say the years. I don't think it's polite to talk about women's age, but probably a lot longer than everybody that's watching this video. And I don't know where you can go on the internet, anywhere, and ask a question where you don't need to be a customer and get an answer other than Leerburg. Cindy gets up every morning and answers her emails. This is a good one about someone that has a Rottweiler, a young Rottweiler, 2-year-old, that they want to be a service dog and they're having problems with it. I choose this because not that there's a specific thing wrong with her Rottweiler, it's just being used for the wrong thing. And that can happen with a lot of working dogs. So I'll read it first, then we'll talk about it. I have a 2-year-old Rottie. He's being trained to be my service dog for PTSD. He has been going with me everywhere I go since he was 6 months old. He's been in a professional training situation since 3 months old, first in the basic, then advanced. He has his CGC, Canine Good Citizen, and he's ready to start his disability training. I used to be able to take him anywhere. He would just lay down and people didn't even know that he was there. He has started to bark at people in my office, especially when they stand up to go someplace and leave. I used to take him to restaurants, and again, he would be under the table and no one would even know that he's there. Now though, he started to growl and one time lunged at a server. I can still take him to stores. I have no issues with that. On the walks, there are no issues with people or dogs. However, I have started to feel a little apprehensive about him in stores, and I feel he will clue in on my apprehension and react. Dogs are good. This is my old saying that dogs can read people. If dogs could play poker, they could kick ass if they went to Las Vegas, because they're so good. They're way better than people are at reading people. So this guy is right. His dog is probably going to pick up on him getting a little nervous. If people come into my home, he's happy and most likely show them where all the jewelry is hidden. I just don't understand the switch though. Please advise. Thank you. Good question. Really good question. I think in the end, what you're going to see here is Cindy and I would say, you know, as a service dog, some of the working dogs, German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Malinois, may not make the best service dogs because they're bred to be a little reactive. They're bred to be able to deal with a little aggression, but we'll talk about it. Cindy said, I would first rule out any health or pain issues, joint pain, Lyme's disease, etc. If he gets a clean bill of health, it could be he's simply becoming more discriminatory about strangers as he reaches maturity. And that's really the truth. You can have, and I bred German Shepherds for 35 years. I bred dogs to be in the biting dog sports. I bred dogs to be police service dogs. And I imported, and all of them came from German working bloodlines. So, we know a little bit about this. And the thing is that you can have a German Shepherd, you can have a nice Rottweiler that as they grow up and they're puppies, they're great to be around, but then they start to mature. It's kind of like, I raised 2 sons, 2 type A sons, and when they got to be teenagers, they started to puff up and blah, blah, blah. You know how kids are. Dogs are the same way. The behavior he's showing is not unusual or surprising for a Rottweiler or any working breed dog who's becoming a mature adult. Cindy said that her parents used to breed and raise Rottweilers, and we often saw big changes in their behavior between 2 and 3 years of age, especially with the males. Unfortunately, not all dogs make the cut as a public access service dog. And as a strong working guarding breed, much of what he will have to tolerate goes completely against his genetics. So it's really not a fault of this dog. You can't fight genetics. You just can't do it. So Cindy goes on to say, there's a reason that labs and golden retrievers are used a lot for service work. They don't have the strong guarding instinct. They don't have the suspicion levels. They don't have the suspicion instincts that the herding and the working breeds have, which is what I've already talked about. I'd make sure, Cindy goes on to say, I'd make sure he gets a thorough physical, and if you haven't had his hips, elbows, and spine x-rayed, that would be something to consider, as well as tick-borne diseases. Dogs can hide pain and illness, and often the only symptoms at first is a behavior change, and that's a good point. So the long and the short of this is this may be the wrong dog for a service dog. This person might want to find, first of all, make sure the dog is healthy, there's nothing wrong with it, but then look and find a really nice home for it. There's places where dogs like this can go, where they can live their whole life and be happy, and the owners are happy to have them around. Anyway, if you have a question on training, behavioral problems, breeding, send us an email. We'll help you. I think that we help thousands and thousands of people, and we're happy to do it because a lot of them come back to us and become long-term customers of ours. Probably 55% of the sales that we make are to existing customers. So with that said, see you next time.